Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House, presented by TireRack.com. And, Coach, pretty good week for your team. 1-1 record. Pretty good performances in both. Syracuse gave you some trouble, but the headline I think that comes out of the week is you have done so well already with your conference play that you've earned a double bye to the ACC tournament.
Well, to know that you don't play till Thursday is really good. And, when we've gotten to those semifinals in the Big East 4 in a row, before last year, before we left the league, we always had that double bye, so you didn't play till Thursday. We've come a long way from last year, getting beat so fast in the tournament that we never felt like we were in it. So I'm very, very proud of this group. I thought at Boston College we were very methodical in the second half. We were really good offensively. I thought against Syracuse Tuesday, their zone really bothered us. We missed some really open looks early in the game that can get you confident, and that's how we've beaten them in the past. And then you're kind of holding on and digging. I thought we dug and scratched and clawed, but we could never get enough of a flow offensively. And I think you got to give their defense a lot of credit.
I know that their radio crew kind of disagree with me because I talked with them after the game, but from my memory of that zone, that was as active as I can ever remember Syracuse being, and they're a little smaller than they usually are, trapping out of the zone constantly. And I think you're still the leading three-point shooting team in the ACC, but you just couldn't knock those shots down, which creates some hesitation, and the way they were trapping made it very difficult all night.
Well, we had 14 turnovers, and then you don't shoot it well. I'm amazed we probably had chances to win it and close the gap there at the end. And I thought our defense was good enough. 65 points they score. I think they shot 40% from the floor. I thought we did a really good – I thought Zach August's post defense was the best of the year. On Christmas, we had him in foul trouble. You had all the things happen to beat him. But, for us, we are a shot-making team. And when we can't make a couple from out there, it puts a lot of pressure on us. But when you get open looks against zone, it's different than getting open looks against man. And I think that rhythm we never could get comfortable with. Again, you lose and then you come in and find out North Carolina lost and you still have a double bye. So, but we still have a lot to play for. I mean, we know we're not playing till Thursday. We don't know what seed will be. But you still can play for seeding in that next tournament with how you finish against Louisville and Clemson.
Which is important. And not to belabor Syracuse, but the game, two things had to happen. I don't know what it is about Irish shooting guards for Syracuse, but Cooney, who'd been struggling with a sore back, threw in two impossible shots that they needed to beat you. And you really, in my opinion, forced a turnover late down two that should have given you the ball. Yeah. The player jumped into the official who made the assumption that he was pushed when he wasn't. There were a couple of really tough calls there, but, I've always been the school of thought, and I think you are too. That's fine, but if you put yourself in position to be influenced by things you can't control, you still bear some responsibility for that.
Yeah, when Cooney hit the three in front of their bench with two guys draped on him, then you're starting to think, probably not tonight. I agree with you. I think Steve Astoria's defensive position was great, and the kid stepped out of bounds. That's the same official that gave Virginia coach the timeout when we had a guy pushed out of bounds. That's interesting. I hope we don't see him in Greensboro. Anyways, that's a whole nother subject.
You talked about post defense, and today we've talked about it before, and like all of us, I'm sure, watched the Tech-Duke game last night. You were on the rules committee, and I watched what Okafor was doing to the big guy for Tech last night. So I looked it up. From the rule, an offensive player dislodging a defensive player from an established position by pushing or backing in shall be a personal foul on the offensive player. That's from the NCAA rule book. Why isn't it getting called?
Well, I don't know. The key word there is dislodge. And I think we have gotten to a point, not necessarily with Okafor, but how do you teach post defense? What do I tell my guys? Because when they do get dislodged, they look over at me and get a foul. They're like, Coach, you told us that wasn't going to be a foul. And yet, so I don't think we've cleaned that up in the post at all. It's very hard to officiate the post. I understand that. I think we've cleaned it up on the perimeter for the most part. We have a pretty good feel of, absolutes when there's two hands and not being guided or forearm checked off. But we have not fixed the post, and we have to fix the post. Does the widened lane help officials with that? But right now, I am not quite sure what to tell my post defenders, because you tell them, do this, you're going to be all right. And It's tricky.
And the change 2 years ago, and I forgot this, so I read it again. This by a defender. I'm fouling you now. I'm not pushing,
right,
but I'm putting just contact on you. So the defender can't touch at all, but the offensive player can pound on you. The imbalance, to me, it's almost gotten worse.
I think what you'll see come, and this is a rules change year, I think what you'll see come, the 30-second clock's going to be there, and I think the NBA charge arc being out will be there. I think will be there. I think they're going to let post defenders use the forearm bar in the back. See, right now that's a foul, but yet what do you do when a guy's backing you down? So I think once the player gets the ball, that you can put the forearm bar on there. I think we will get to that, and then we'll teach post defense for the 17th different way in the last 5 years.
But it'll at least equalize it a little bit, because Okafor is a spectacular player.
No, he's a great
player. But right now I think he's got, and all big guys have a ridiculous advantage, but when you've got a guy like him who's a generational player, and then you're allowing him to be that physical, in a sense you can't defend him. And Christmas did some of it too.
Yeah, it's hard. There's no question. It's hard. And, Zach has done it sometimes.
Yeah.
Zach has blown guys out of there and gone up and got the call, and our opponents have looked over like, God, what do I do? So it's an area I think that will really be talked about with the Rules Committee. I would not be surprised to see the forearm bar legal in the back once the player catches the ball.
You got 7 days off right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it comes at a great time to get ready for the stretch run and then the postseason tournaments. How do you handle these days?
Well, we do the three things we did the last bye week. We get some rest. We recruit. I was in New Jersey yesterday, and my staff is out on the road, and then we get back into a good practice rhythm where we can practice 2, 3, 4 days in a row and work on some things. I still think this is a team that can get better. And that's something when we come back tomorrow that we'll start to address.
We have some questions for Coach Brey, so we're going to take a timeout. We also want to give a lot of time tonight to a guy who is a finalist for virtually every National Player of the Year award in the country, Jerian Grant. So we'll be back with some questions for Coach Brey right after this timeout. We're coming to you live from O'Rourke's Public House. We're presented by TireRack.com.
You're listening to the Mike Brey Basketball Show. Right now, the coaching staff isn't thinking about where to buy their next set of tires. But if they were, all they'd need to know is TireRack.com. They post their own test results and user reviews, so the coaches could get the right tires for their cars in as little as one business day. But the coaching staff's not thinking about tires. They're thinking, is it swish, swoosh, or nothing but net? Doesn't matter. It counts for three. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
Join the gang at O'Rourke's Public House, located in Eddy Street Commons, directly across the street from the Notre Dame campus. With over 24 beers on draft and an extensive selection of menu items, they're sure you'll find something to your liking. Experience dining in one of the 5 different Irish-themed areas overlooking Notre Dame's beautiful campus. Whether you're catching up with an old friend, meeting or enjoying dinner with your family, O'Rourke's is the place to be. Visit them online at o'rourkespublichouse.com. Cheers to the Irish from O'Rourke's, the official home of the Mike Brey Radio Show.
Sometimes life throws you for a loop. You get injured on the job, tear up a knee playing sports, or are forced to undergo surgery. Then what? Fortunately, there's ATI Physical Therapy, an official sponsor of Notre Dame Athletics. From the second you step into one of ATI's over 300 locations, you'll see that ATI is taking physical therapy to a higher level. You do have a choice in physical therapy, so ask your doctor about ATI and find the clinic nearest you at ATIPT.com. ATI, taking physical therapy to a higher level. Get there.
What did real college basketball fans have to say about Xfinity on the X1 Entertainment operating system?
This is the ultimate experience right here.
With the Sports app, you can track multiple games while watching the Fighting Irish live.
Get the college basketball you want when you switch to Xfinity TV, Internet, and Voice for $99 a month for 2 years. Visit Comcast.com or call 1-800-XFINITY today. Offer ends 3/31/15. Restrictions apply. New starter except triple play customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment, taxes, and fees including broadcast TV and RSN fees extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply.
We're back at O'Rourke's Public House. Great crowd here tonight.
We do.
And, of course, and then we also salute these folks, too, because it's senior night for the women. The new ACC schedule, they play a lot at home on Thursday night, so we appreciate folks coming on out here to support Coach Brey and, of course, Jerian Grant. Tim from Granger's already looking ahead to the game next week. Coach, Louisville also plays zone. Will you do anything different against the Cards on offense?
We got to make some shots. We got to make some shots.
It is that simple sometimes, isn't it?
Jerian and Pat and I had lunch today. I had lunch with my seniors. My guys are my captains, and we talked about some of the early ones we missed and how we got into the middle of the zone. And you got to knock a few of those down. We got to be better with the ball, though. But it's a different because Louisville will press us back to the zone. So you got to handle the ball against full court pressure. And then you got to handle the ball against a big, long zone. So that puts a lot of pressure on our decision makers throughout the game.
Gary Rivers is here as always, and I think I know where this question is coming from because you got asked it after the Syracuse game. I understand, Coach, defense wins games, but the total on the scoreboard is the bottom line. You have horses that can put the ball in the basket. Don't you think now's the time to turn the horses loose and let them score? They're kind of doing it.
Yeah, they have a green light all the time. This is a group that plays with a free mind, and no question. I mean, there's one thing about us offensively, philosophically, is we've been very attacked. Guys don't look at the bench, and we don't mind them taking a bad shot every now and then, as long as they're aggressive. We don't mind that.
I got some of those emails too. You were asked in post game. I think what people forget is early in the Syracuse game, you were missing open shots.
Yeah.
And anybody who's played at any level knows if you've missed 2 or 3, you're not as likely to take the next one. You're looking for that better shot. And some thought you passed too much against Syracuse. They played great defense. I mean, I'm not sure you were passing up that many wide open shots.
No, I think you have to be patient. The pace is going to be slower in the half court against zone, and you just have to be patient and get a really good one. You don't want to take a quick one. And again, the ones we took 22, I think, probably. 18 of them were really pretty good looks. And, I hope we take them next Wednesday.
Jane Golden is here from Fenwick Island.
She's back?
She's back again.
Wait a minute.
I think she may move here.
If she lives in Fenwick Island, what is she doing here?
Her flight's probably got canceled.
Oh, my God. She's still snowed in.
What are the most character-building qualities you teach your players?
I think to have each other's back and be a together group. I think that's been a hallmark of our program. I'm their best teacher that they'll ever have at Notre Dame. Why? Because I have them every year in class. I have them both fall and spring semester and in summer school. And so, that's a lot of responsibility. Yeah, we want to win. We want to go to the NCAA tournament. But I take a lot of responsibility in kind of growing these guys because I have them for 4 years. In Jerian's case, I've had this young man for 5 years. That's why he has a nervous twitch right now. but no, I mean, so you take a lot of responsibility in, growing them up and getting them out of here as young men. And I think the biggest theme that we try to talk about as a team is having each other's back and chasing a group goal and learning the teamwork stuff that they learn. Long after their basketball's over, Jerian's going to play for a long time in the NBA. Some of our guys will never play after Notre Dame. They understand teamwork and chasing a group goal, and I hope that helps them in life.
Right, and when you recruit here, you do talk about it being a 40-year decision.
No question.
And it's about preparing them for life. And you've always talked to me about that. It's not just getting better basketball. It's to go out and succeed in life because it ends for everybody.
Well, the one thing about being here 15 years, I have a number of guys now that are off in the world. Some are playing. Many of them are married and children. And when they come back for reunions, to see successful young men that have come through our program, that's the thing I'm most proud of when I'm around those guys. What was really neat last year in Boston, our alumni team that won what did they win, 500,000?
Yes.
And when they won the 500,000, being around those guys, they were all in different phases of their life, but really successful men and winners in the game of life. And it was really energizing to be around them, and now they are 8 years later. And many of them, as we were there that weekend, talked about things we did here. And, Coach, when you did that, I mean, that as a teacher, that's amazingly rewarding.
And all the observers also said that Notre Dame won that tournament, even though they were up against some teams that may have had guys that had had more professional success, that Notre Dame was the one that played the most like a team.
Well, those guys that played together remember how they played together here, and it was very inspiring for me to watch that, and it meant a lot to me. I was very emotional watching them win that because they ran and cut and played, and I even yelled at them like they were at a couple
People
times.
told me you were coaching a bit.
From the sideline, I even got on them a couple times. Got on them about getting the ball to Ty Nash, and it was interesting how they reacted to my voice. Even though they haven't heard my voice in 10 years, I was able to get their attention still pretty good. But, you know, again, that's why I love coaching here, Jack. I don't want to coach anywhere else. I mean, the kind of young men that I get here, we get really special guys. Not that they aren't knuckleheads some days. Believe me, they have their days. But it's really neat. And, you know, Jay Billis said it best after being around our program for a couple years. He goes, you have the kind of guys you can have a beer with after they graduate. Yeah. And that is really accurate.
Well, heck, even announcers can be knuckleheads some days. But
some
of the guys have come back, and I talked to them, are you going to defend your title? And to show that they have it in perspective, they said, well, we really weren't going to, but they've raised the price to $1 million this year.
It's $1 million.
So I guess we kind of have to come back and try to win it again.
I think they're going to come here in June and have a mini camp, you know, and there's tryouts now. It's hard to make this team because the payday is pretty good. The thing that blew my mind, I don't know if I told you, after the game, they took them all upstairs in an office and wrote them checks for $50,000. Yeah. They were running around Boston that night with checks for $50 grand. Yeah. Torrey Jackson kept pulling it out. I said, would you please put that in your pocket?
Doug Buell's here, as always, from Michigan City. Coach, you rank in the top 5 in the country in several categories, but the most impressive to me is the low number of personal fouls per game. How do you manage that with the tough defense you've been playing?
Well, it's you know, part of your defensive philosophy. And, you know, one of the themes we talk about is play our defense without fouling, not to put a team on the line where they get easy ones there. And, you know, that's kind of been a staple of our program. We've tried not to foul and put people on the foul line. And when you do that, when you keep fouls to a minimum and they're not getting free throws or points from the line or a good number of points from the line, keep it under like 10 points, that's good defense because they don't get to the line to get free ones.
When we come back, Player of the Year candidate Jerian Grant will join us live here on the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House, presented by TireRack.com.
Millions of dollars of Factory Direct 2015 inventory. Friday through Sunday. Hilton Garden Inn, Gillespie Event Center. Over 100 spas on display and everything must go. All inventory 40 to 80% off. Trade-ins welcome. Free delivery. We'll even haul away your old spa. Spas starting at $29.95. Thousands on the Revolutionary Swim Spa. See the Revolutionary Swim Spa in action and save up to 60%. Exercise with low impact. Swim the entire year and stay in shape. Teach your kids to swim. Unwind and save thousands. Avoid the expense and maintenance involved with a pool. You can do it all. Swim, exercise, and relax in your new aquatic exercise swim spa. Installation in 1 day only. Millions of dollars of Factory Direct 2015 inventory. Friday through Sunday. Hilton Garden Inn, Gillespie Event Center. New 2015 inventory. All inventory must be sold. 12 months interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Hilton Garden Inn in South Bend. Friday noon to 8. Saturday 10 to 8. Sunday 10 to 6. Free admission. Free parking. Call 877-55-HOT-TUB or visit SpaBlowout.com. SpaBlowout.com.
There's no guarantee you'll pick a champion unless you pick Legacy Heating and Air and get a new Daikin high-efficient furnace for as low as $600 with a purchase of any Daikin air conditioner or heat pump. It's the only sure thing in March. But just like the tournament, Legacy Heating and Air only has 64 Daikin high-efficient furnaces on special, and it's first come, first serve. It's time to beat the buzzer because these systems will go fast. Go to LegacyHeatingandAirInc.com for details. Legacy Heating and Air, a Cook family business.
Win big all season long at Ziegler Elkhart Ford. Now you can save thousands. And with hundreds of vehicles to pick from, you'll score no matter what you choose. Ready to trade in? Tell us how much to pay you. Visit zford.com, answer a few quick and easy questions, and you're done. Plus, take advantage of available 0% APR. That's right, 0% APR. Only at Ziegler Elkhart Ford and zford.com for a great experience. Financing with approved credit. See dealer for complete details.
Meet Rusty, the dog who can fetch anything. So when I needed guaranteed returns, he came back with amazing certificate rates from United Federal Credit Union. They have a variety of terms and rates as high as 2.1% annual percentage yield on a 55-month certificate. In fact, I'm heading to United right now. Oh, my keys. Good boy.
Don't miss the limited time certificate specials happening now at United Federal Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA. Certain restrictions apply. See branch for details. Rates, terms, and conditions subject to change without notice. $500 minimum balance required.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House, presented by TireRack.com. And welcome to our table, a guy who's a finalist for just about every National Player of the Year award, Jerian Grant. Jerian, thanks for taking the time to come out tonight.
Thank you.
I guess we got to talk about the shirts. DeMatha High School tweeted at me today that I have a couple of Stags up here tonight, and I do, and Coach Brey and Jerian Grant, and they're playing for their league title tonight?
Yep. Going for the 40th.
The 40th
league title.
Did they keep
40th league title. His brother is a starter.
Mm-hmm.
Catholic League championship against Gonzaga, who's a big rival. And at American University, probably tipping off right about now.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Bolanos is at the game, so he's going to give us updates.
And Coach Bolanos also a graduate of DeMatha High School, and he posted today on his Facebook page, if you want to follow him. I don't know if he tweeted it out as well, but highlights of this guy winning the title before he came to Notre Dame, just absolutely lighting it up, which should come as no surprise. Breaking news today, Jerian was named a finalist for the Oscar Robertson Trophy, one of the most prestigious, the U.S. Basketball Writers National Player of the Year Award. He's late season top 20 for the Wooden Award, mid-season 30 for the Naismith Award, finalist for the Jerry West Shooting Guard Award that will be given away on ESPN. They've started this year, and I think it's long overdue, a nationally televised college basketball award show, just like the football award show. But here's the stat. I got all these stats here, and I don't want to bore you with them. You know he leads the ACC in both assists and assist-to-turnover ratio. He's also second in career active scoring in the ACC, leads the ACC in career assists. But this blows my mind away, and Sean Carroll puts this together from the Notre Dame SID staff. Jerian's had a hand in just under 43% of all of Notre Dame's points this year. He's also had a hand in 54.4% of the threes that Notre Dame has made this year, which means he's either made them or he set people up for them. When you said last year that everything goes through this guy, you weren't kidding.
Yeah, this is one of the great stories in college basketball. I think it's the great story in college basketball. This young man coming back and leading his team into territory maybe we've never, been in before, along with Pat Connaughton, his classmate. But it's just been fabulous to watch from the day he got back here in June, through Italy, through early in the season. And not only has he led us into territory and has put us in position to make a run in the NCAA tournament and the ACC tournament, he's played his way into the lottery of the NBA. And I couldn't be prouder of a young man. I couldn't, it hits close to home because we come from the same neck of the woods. And, when he was coming back, I don't know if I could have dreamed it was going to be this good. It's been even better.
And I've been impressed, and I've told you this. I thought you'd get better because I knew you were working on your game. I wasn't sure. I don't know how you got this much better. I use your name and Magic Johnson in the same sentence a lot in broadcast this year. And as an old guy, I'm sure you've seen tape of him. Your dad, your uncle know about him. But you pass the ball that way now. You get the ball to places. No one sees the pass coming, and it ends up right where the shooter needs it. And I've asked you this before, but not in front of this audience. How did you make these strides when you were away from your team in the program?
I watched every game. I talked to Coach Brey. After every game, on things I think the team could work on. I talked to the guys on the team about things that places they could be and things they could do to be better. And I feel like that helped myself to when I came back. Just being able to know where guys are best at on the court.
Now, Coach makes this very clear. Nobody gets tricked into coming here, and anybody who's been around here for a long time knows this place is hard and stuff happens. And players, this has happened to players in the past. They've all come back, and you came back, but you had probably more options than anybody else I can remember who was in this situation. You really didn't have to come back. You could have gone on and made money this year playing basketball. So why did you make the decision to come back?
Just a few different reasons. Obviously I wanted to graduate from here. I didn't want to be here for 3-4 years and not be able to get my degree. And then my relationship with Coach Brey. Like I said, we talked after every game. A few times a week, and we talked about doing something special here. Not having the job wasn't done yet. So we wanted to come back and leave a mark.
All right, I want to direct you to this monitor right over here because we've got some videos of you. And the first thing I want to show and remind folks, it's still being called by many the dunk of the year in college basketball. It was against Clemson, and here it is. Talk about what happened on this play.
Honestly, I think I blacked out. All all I really seen was the rim, and then, you know, I took off from there. So, I can't really tell you much.
You know, everybody's telling me, well, he used the other guy. I've watched this over and over. The other guy was backing up. He was not a steady ladder there. I think most of that is you.
Yeah, just a lot of adrenaline going. You know, we needed a big play in this game. I think we were down here, so just to be able to get this play going and get the team going, I think was big time for us.
But, I mean, did you use – people say you went off his chest. I don't think you did.
No, I don't think so. You know, like I said, I don't remember much, but from watching it, I don't think I did.
All right, and here, I mean, it's always a great moment, and and you've got to take special pride in this. Coach K is a great coach. He sent a lot of his assistants off to be head coaches. Only one of them has beaten him, and it's your coach. And twice now, and you had a ridiculous game. And the first shot we want to show is I have to apologize, Jerian. I shortchanged you. I said it was a 25-footer. Staffers from Fighting Irish Digital Media walked it off the next day. 31-foot three. So here it is from the Shamrock. I mean, in the NBA they call it a heat check. You had no doubt in your mind you were going to knock that down.
Yeah, I was definitely confident. You know, Coach Brey and the players give me a lot of confidence just to be able to take shots. And, you know, those are one of the plays. You know, we had the momentum going, and I had the mismatch, so I kind of just pulled up from wherever.
From wherever, which is, I think Dick Vitale said Mishawaka. That's because his kids went here,
he did.
And he knows all the suburbs.
Yes, he does.
He was going crazy. I, of course, went nuts. And then we're going to go to a later sequence now in this game. We're going to pick it up with about 1:10 left in the contest. The game is on the line. And tell me what happened here.
Coach Brey called an ISO for me, and I was just trying to figure out which move I wanted to do. Everything was going through my head, like crossover, step back between the legs. And then, you know, he knocked the ball away, and I looked up. It was about 1 second left, and I had to shoot it, and it went in.
Now, this is televised live on the web, but it is a radio show. So, folks, what we're talking about is that play at the end of the game, 1:07 left, where Jerian loses the ball, grabs it, and doesn't just, like, bank it in. He almost swishes the shot, which was huge. And then you help Steve Astoria a little bit here.
Oh, yeah. You know, I wanted to get this shot. You know, Quinn was guarding me, my high school teammate, and, you know, I kind of wanted to make this big shot. So I was going to shoot a fadeaway. And then at the corner of my eye, I seen Steve ready with his hands up, and I kicked it to him, and he knocked it down.
All right, now, Coach, when we were putting your show together that week, I watched Jerian's post-game comments. And everybody here who just saw it and everybody across the country remembers it. He jumped in the air, and he's looking at the basket. And he described basically that he was looking at the basket, then he saw Steve, and he saw that Steve was squared up, that his hands were in the right position, that he wanted the ball. I mean, that's like a second. He went through that entire thought process while in the air and shifted from shooting to throwing a perfect pass.
You know, I think, you know, one of the things that I don't know if everyone knows, he is one of the most intelligent basketball players we've ever had here. And I think that's why he's going to have a long NBA career. His basketball IQ and his feel is so high. He's almost like a computer when he's reading open guys coming off a ball screen. And, you know, Demetrius had a great cut there to clear it out. But he sees Steve on that thing, and Steve has answered the bell. But, you know, one of the things about our guys, I think one of the reasons they're shooting, we have a lot of guys shooting a good percentage because you get a lot cleaner looks when you play with Jerian Grant because he delivers the ball to you and makes the defense help, and then he gets you a look where it's clean and you can line it up pretty good.
You know, I've always loved this game, and one of the reasons I talk about it is these moments never happen to me, but they say for great players, the game slows down. Has the game slowed down for you?
Yeah, for sure it has. You know, just, you know, being able to watch a lot last year and figure out, you know, like I said, you know, where guys are going to be on the floor and just, you know, being more of a leader this year, I feel like it really has slowed down. And, you know, the guys have so much confidence in me, you know, I'm allowed to take my time.
Right, we've got some audience questions, and he comes from quite the basketball family. We'll talk about the Grant basketball family when we come back. The Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House, presented by TireRack.com.
Papa John here. I wasn't going to release a sequel to last year's double cheeseburger pizza because most sequels don't live up to the original. But then again, most sequels don't have bacon.
Get our new bacon cheeseburger pizza. It's hickory smoked bacon, beef, dill pickle, mozzarella, and our signature burger sauce. A large for $12. Add our new double chocolate chip brownie for just $6 more. Order at papajohns.com.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Limited time offer not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary. Taxes extra.
This is your life. Live it well. South Bend Orthopedics. Skylar Diggins of Notre Dame women's basketball was determined to return to the game.
I had a chip fractured in my wrist from the basketball game that I played in. I really was grateful of the treatment that I got at SBO. It really kind of helped me have a positive attitude and get back to where I could play. Today I feel great. I'm Skylar Diggins with Notre Dame women's basketball. This is my life. I'm living it well thanks to South Bend Orthopedics.
Like so many soldiers returning home from combat, adjusting to life as a civilian hasn't been easy for retired Army Staff Sergeant Ben Dellinger.
The hardest part was getting out. You don't lose your friends, but like basically all those people get taken away from you all at once. It felt like my life was over at times. Everything I thought I was totally different.
American heroes like Ben face many challenges when they return home. That's why, for more than 90 years, Bank of America has partnered with military organizations to support jobs, housing, and critical needs of veterans and their families. We're also committed to recruiting and hiring veterans, reservists, and military spouses. And for Ben, we partnered with Military Warrior Support Foundation to award his family a mortgage-free home.
This is something I never expected to happen, and I'm truly grateful to each and every person involved.
To find out more about Bank of America's efforts, visit bankofamerica.com/military support. 2013 Bank of America Corporation. Bank of America, NA member FDIC.
We're back at the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. Great crowd here tonight. We only have one more show left after this, and the NCAA rules kind of prohibit us from announcing who's going to be the guest in advance. But I mentioned last week that neither you or Pat had appeared, and our fans are pretty smart, so they figured out they were going to get one of you tonight. John Scott, one of those guys who figured that out. He's from South Bend. Jerian, how has your brother's first year in the pros with Philadelphia been? Does he have any regrets leaving early?
No regrets. You know, I talk to him almost every day. You know, he's excited. You know, he's playing in the NBA. You know, that was his dream, and he made it. You know, obviously it's tough. You know, playing with the Sixers. You know, they're not doing too well, but you know, he's excited to be learning. You know, at the pro level.
Right. I mean, it just worked out too. He wouldn't be in postseason this year, and I think Coach and I talked about that. I mean, I think that's wrong. I think the NCAA's got to figure out a way to stop punishing kids who didn't have anything to do with the thing they're being punished for, and hopefully they can figure that out. Jerry Liss is here from South Bend. He's here every week. Jerian, if you played horse against your uncle or dad, who would win?
I think I would win, you know, pretty heavily. You know, those guys weren't the best at jump shooters, so, you know, all I have to do is step out to the perimeter a little bit, and I think I could win.
You have more game than they do.
Yeah.
All right.
Horace, all he did was rebound and defend. Harvey was a dirty work guy. This guy's a basketball player. I hope they're watching. Are those two big 6'9" guys watching?
Probably.
If not now, we post the
video
as well.
You know what? You know, if they were here, they'd be great screeners.
That's their game.
The Thanksgiving or whenever. I know you guys get together in the summer. We'll talk about that a little bit. Jerian, Brandon Liss is here from South Bend. What is your favorite road venue that you've played in?
Wow. I think I want to say the Yum Center. You know, obviously, you know, Louisville is, you know, always, you know, ranked high, and they get a great crowd every game. And, you know, I can say I've won there, so I think it's pretty fun to play there and quiet that crowd down.
Double overtime.
Yes.
Yep.
That is, I mean, it's told this before. We had a timeout once, and I'm hearing the Budweiser song, and I'm wondering, where the heck is that coming from? We're not running that. It was on the frickin' scoreboard. And I'd turn around, and, well, they were doing what the Budweiser ad told them to do. Renee Buell's here from Michigan City. She's always here as well. What has been your favorite memory so far at Notre Dame?
Wow, there's been so many. I think, you know, beating the #1 team in the country, undefeated Syracuse, when they came here was big for me. Playing in the Garden, you know, being in the Final Four of the Big East tournament, you know, a few times was fun. So just, you know, memories like that.
You know, growing up in Maryland, this is, you know, it's tough changing conferences, and the Big East was great for Notre Dame. But could you have wished for anything better than to be able to play in both the Big East and the ACC?
No, I think it's the perfect scenario. You know, when we were in the Big East, you know, it was the best conference in the country by far, and then, you know, being able to play in the ACC, you know, I get to play against, you know, what I grew up watching.
Gary Rivers has questions for both, because Gary comes to virtually every show, and we actually send out investigators when he doesn't show up now.
Is Gary here on Thursday nights in the summer?
I don't know. We'll have to check that out. I would tend to doubt it. But for you, Jerian, Gary loves watching your career here at Notre Dame. He would like to know what you will miss most about Notre Dame when you move on to the NBA.
I think it's the family environment. Just being around the guys, around the students, around the coaches. Those guys really show how much they care about you. And I think when you're in a college environment like that, it means a lot to play for your brothers, play for your coaches, and play for the fans and the students.
Now, I think most of you know this, but he does come from a basketball family, and not just dad and uncle. Jerian, your brother, played for Clemson. He's now playing overseas. He's having a very good career overseas. I think he's is he in Latvia now?
Yeah, Latvia yep.
Right now. Jeremy, of course, with the Sixers. And your younger brother, tonight's going for that league title.
Yep.
Jalen, so what is it like in your house when you guys all get together?
It's fun. It's competitive. Everybody, no matter what we're doing, we're always competing against each other. And, we get into the gym a lot, and we work on our game. So it's fun to be around them.
And I know Washington Post just did a terrific article on your entire family. And one of the quotes from you was, we're even closer now, even though we're far apart.
Yeah, for sure. We talk every day. My brother's all the way, across the season, and we still talk and communicate every day.
They also quoted you as saying, we talk about ourselves as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So talk about how you project that onto yourselves.
Just like it's four turtles and it's four of us, and each turtle kind of has its own personality. And my oldest brother was the leader. I was kind of the clown, the guy who liked to joke around, and then Jeremy, the one who plays with the Sixers, was the Raphael, the one who kind of was a hothead and liked to get angry a lot of things. And then my youngest brother was kind of just the one to keep everything together.
All right, we're going to keep things going and together here. When we come back, he's going to get the chance to take shots at his teammates for the final time with the Fast Break. It's the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House.
Spas. Millions of dollars of factory direct 2015 inventory. Friday through Sunday. Hilton Garden Inn, Gillespie Event Center. Over 100 spas on display and everything must go. All inventory 40 to 80% off. Trade-ins welcome. Free delivery. We'll even haul away your old spa. Spas starting at $29.95. Make thousands on the Revolutionary Swim Spa. See the Revolutionary Swim Spa in action and save up to 60%. Exercise with low impact. Swim the entire year and stay in shape. Teach your kids to swim. Unwind and save thousands. Avoid the expense and maintenance involved with a pool. You can do it all. Swim, exercise, and relax in your new aquatic exercise swim spa. Installation in one day only. Millions of dollars of factory direct 2015 inventory. Friday through Sunday. Hilton Garden Inn, Gillespie Event Center. New 2015 inventory. All inventory must be sold. 12 months interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Hilton Garden Inn in South Bend. Friday noon to 8. Saturday 10 to 8. Sunday 10 to 6. Free admission. Free parking. Call 877-55-HOT-TUB or visit SpaBlowout.com. SpaBlowout.com.
Hard hitting, pulse pounding, jaw dropping action. The state of the art Arlotta Lacrosse Stadium, the home to the men's and women's Fighting Irish lacrosse team, welcome you to another season of Fighting Irish lacrosse. Join the men entering their season as defending ACC champions and NCAA runner-ups. See 13 home games, including multiple ACC marquee matchups. Both teams host North Carolina. Men battle Syracuse and Ohio State in their schedule, while the women face off against Michigan and Northwestern. Season tickets now available, with first-time buyer savings at least 20%. Prices start at just $15. That's less than $2 per game. Benefits include 2 mini wooden lacrosse sticks, cookout in the spring, and access to 2 lacrosse chalk talk sessions. For tickets, go to und.com/tickets using promo code FIRST by calling 631-7356 or in person. Name Family Ticket Office. Fighting Irish Lacrosse at the Armada Family Lacrosse Stadium. Go Irish.
Win big all season long at Ziegler Elkhart Ford. Now you can save thousands, and with hundreds of vehicles to pick from, you'll score no matter what you choose. Ready to trade in? Tell us how much to pay you. Visit zford.com, answer a few quick and easy questions, and you're done. Plus, take advantage of available 0% APR. That's right, 0% APR. Only at Ziegler Elkhart Ford and zford.com for a great experience. Financing with approved credit. See dealer for complete details.
Back in the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. I'm here with a couple of Stags. That's the nickname of DeMatha High School, where Coach Brey coached, and of course, Jerian graduated from. His brother going for a league championship tonight, but I'm sure everybody at DeMatha is going to watch both the video archive of this and it's podcast too, folks, if you ever want to take it with you when you work out or whatnot. But one of our favorite parts of the show, we call it the fast break, because on the TV show it's only a minute, but here it goes on for like 5 or 10, so you can take your time. We'll warm you up with the easy questions. First car you ever drove?
Jeep.
Get up early or sleep in?
Sleep in.
Who was your role model?
My dad.
One thing the public would be surprised to learn about you.
I'm a great cook.
I will not ask you favorite NBA team because you're going to be drafted, and we don't want to turn any of them off, but your favorite NBA player.
Russell Westbrook.
Favorite thing to do while relaxing?
Sleep.
Favorite sport to play other than basketball?
Football.
Favorite part of practice?
Free throws.
Worst part of practice?
I love practice. I love all of it.
Oh, this is the perfect player, isn't he?
Oh,
he loves practice.
Eddie Haskell.
He loves all of practice. Best part of your game?
Passing.
Part of your game you need to work on?
Defense.
Which is better, knocking down a long three, throwing down a spectacular dunk, or dishing out a great assist?
Great assist for sure.
Okay. You have to pick one family member for a game of 2-on-2. Who do you pick?
I'll go with Jeremy.
All right. Name one thing Pat Connaughton can never beat you at.
Madden.
Madden?
Yep.
Computer game? You
Yep.
always win?
Always, every time.
All right. Anything Pat beats you at?
When it comes to video games, no.
No, okay. Favorite spot on the Notre Dame campus?
The Joyce.
City or place in the world you would like to visit?
The Bahamas.
One person you would like to meet?
Westbrook.
Best thing about the trip to Italy?
Just the fun we had as a team.
One thing you always hear from Coach Brey in practice?
Compete.
This is our early money question in this list each week. Assistant coach, who is most like Coach Brey?
Coach Balanis.
Yeah.
It's
a DeMatha thing.
Well, the players, I mean, they pointed it out. And I have watched sometimes, and sometimes he is following you, and he does exactly what you do. It is entertaining. Player on the team most like you?
My little brother, Eric Katinda.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Best nickname on the team and who has it?
EK Easy Money, Eric Katinda.
Best player to room with on the road?
Pat.
Toughest Notre Dame player to guard?
Demetrius.
Best defender on the team?
Demetrius.
I like
That's
that.
a good one. That's
Vastoria and Demetrius. He, by the way, is 5th in the league in steals. He's not too shabby defending either. Best leaper on the team?
Pat.
Best dunker on the team?
Zach.
Worst dunker on the team?
Steve.
Best dresser on the team?
Me.
You do have a sense of style.
Thank you. Thank you.
Come a long way, long way.
It kind of runs in your family.
A little bit.
I told you about that article I dug up in 92 and your dad, his sense of style. So has he ever ragged on you?
Nah. It's too new school for him.
Too new school. Ooh. Worst dresser on the team?
Eric Katinda for sure.
Okay. Best singer on the team?
Zach can hold tune.
Worst singer on the team?
Austin Torres.
Best comedian on the team?
Austin Torres.
All right, we're going to change this up a bit. Not free throw contest, but 3-point shooting contest. Who wins? You or Coach Brey?
Oh, boy.
Me.
Yep.
For sure.
How about free throw shooting contest? You would beat that too?
Yeah, I think so.
Except in Cameron.
Ooh.
Tough one. That was a tough one.
And on that note, we'll take our final timeout for the night. Back with more of the Mike Brey Radio Show right after this.
Join the gang at O'Rourke's Public House, located in Eddy Street Commons, directly across the street from the Notre Dame campus. With over 24 beers on draft and an extensive selection of menu items, they're sure you'll find something to your liking. Experience dining in one of the 5 different Irish-themed areas overlooking Notre Dame's beautiful campus. Whether you're catching up with an old friend, meeting or enjoying dinner with your family, O'Rourke's is the place to be. Visit them online at o'rourkespublichouse.com. Cheers to the Irish from O'Rourke's, the official home of the Mike Brey Radio Show.
This is Freddie, father of 4 young boys.
They're good at being vicious beasts.
So Freddie does not enjoy waiting rooms.
At the doctor's office, they tipped over the fish tank and may have chewed a hole in the wall.
Proud moments. That's why Great Clips has online check-in, so you can check salon wait times and add the boys' names to the list at greatclips.com or with the free app. So Great Clips will be waiting for them.
They need to untie me first to get to my phone?
Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
St. Joseph Regional Medical Center is one of the most wired hospitals in the country. You might be asking, why adopt all this new technology well before other hospitals do? Because it helps our doctors and nurses provide a higher level of care. Because it keeps our patients safer. Because it's what we're called to do. That's why.
You're listening to the Mike Brey Basketball Show. Right now, the coaching staff isn't thinking about where to buy their next set of tires. If they were, they could go to TireRack.com to find the right tires for their cars and get them delivered to an independent recommended installer. But the coaching staff isn't thinking about tires. They're thinking, let's go to the 1-2-2 3/4 court trap. Time for a turnover. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. And again, these two guys doing a tribute to one of the great high school basketball programs in the country, led by maybe the greatest high school coach of all time. He has since retired, although he did make it down to Durham for that game at Duke. Morgan Wooten is who we're talking about. But talk about the guys that you played with at DeMatha. And where they are now. There's a lot of DeMatha guys out there putting up big numbers.
Yeah, there's a lot. You know, we're two in the NBA right now. Victor Oladipo, who played at IU, and he's playing with the Magic now. And then my little brother, who's playing with the Sixers. And then we have college guys. We have Quinn Cook, who plays at Duke right now, who's having a great season. James Robertson, the starting point guard for Pitt, who's having a good season. And then the big guy for NC State, B.J. Anya, who's first in the conference in blocks and probably top 5 in the country. And then another kid that's starting at Georgetown, Mikael Hopkins. So definitely a lot of guys out there.
When you go up against your former high school teammates, what is it like?
It's fun. You know, those are the guys you always play with. So, you know, when you get a chance to go against them, you know, you definitely bring your best. Why
Is the DeMatha program so strong? Why does it turn out such great players?
I think because, you know, we play against each other in practice. You know, it's not – nobody's selfish. You know, we're all out there with great players, so we know – you know, everybody can get the ball. You know, we play hard for each other, and it's really a family environment.
I mean, and then this guy could put up much greater numbers. And another thing that I didn't mention, but just in my uneducated layman's view, one of the great things I like about you this year is you, at times in the past, you would force stuff. Mm-hmm. You haven't forced a thing this year. In fact, there may have been a few times you should have forced something. But is that part of what makes him great? He's a guy who knows he might be the best player on the floor, but he doesn't need to constantly prove he's the best player on the floor.
I think you're seeing a young man who lets the game come to himself. He's had a great balance between when to kick it and when to take it himself. And, you know, he just sees the game and thinks the game and feels the game at a very, very high level. I'll be honest with you, I don't think anybody else in the country has a feel for the game like this young man. And he's not so young anymore, though, you know. And, you know, he was the youngest guy we signed, though. Yeah. He was really young, and to see him over 5 years, how he's grown. He'll graduate this May. He's going to, you know, I hope I'm in the green room with him up there in New York and the night of the draft. It's just one of the really neat stories of college basketball this year.
And he had that stress reaction during his first year, but there was two reasons. That made it easier, but you really wanted him to get bigger and stronger because he was so young.
It was going to be hard for him to get quality minutes with that team. That was Hansborough and Abramitis and a lot of old guys. And, of course, he wasn't real happy about that. We joked about it today, but we were able to convince him it was in his best interest. And looking back, it's worked out pretty good.
And, you know, again, you went through some tough times, and it's almost a cliche to say things happen for a reason, but I was even joking with Coach. I know it was hard for you not to finish with Eric last year, but I'm not sure this year would have been possible on the heights that this team has reached if last year hadn't happened.
Yeah, for sure. You know, like you said, you know, that was my guy coming in, and I definitely wanted to, you know, help him have a great season. But like you said, you know, this year it helped me become a better leader. You know, I had to help lead the team, and you know, me and Pat, I think, have done a good job doing that. And you know, like you said, the season we're having is amazing.
And also, so the first high school that's tweeted at me, I know the folks at DeMatha, they're busy right now, but they'll be listening and watching. But talk about, they've sent great players out into college basketball. They've sent coaches both to high school and colleges all across the country. What is it about that program, why they teach basketball and life so well?
Well, it all starts with Morgan Wooten, who I had the opportunity to play for. He was retired before Jerian got there, but they've got a heck of a coach in Mike Jones who's kept the legacy alive. But Morgan Wooten was the ultimate teacher coach. And I played for him, and then I went back and coached with him before I went down to Duke in 1987. And I was so fortunate to be around this gentleman. He was at our Duke game. He still stays in close touch. He follows all our guys. He started that program and that tradition of excellence, and there's a lot of pride. You know, Derek Wittenberg, who's at NC State, you know, when we see a lot of DeMatha guys out there, and that's a bond that is really strong. And it's so interesting. You know, I'll tell you how small a world it is. We both had the same senior government teacher,
really?
Doug
Yep.
Shafaley. And I kind of used that on him. I said, you know, if you do come to Notre Dame, I can guarantee you'll probably get no lower than a B in government, because Doug's a big Notre Dame guy. But we had the same senior government teacher. So when I was recruiting him going back to DeMatha, it was so neat. There was so many memories going back there. I taught there. I coached there. I was a student there. You know, neither one of us are where we are today without DeMatha Catholic High School, 4313 Madison Street, Hyattsville, Maryland. Right, Jay?
For sure, for sure.
And they are hoping to be celebrating again tomorrow. Let's move to the next challenge. You love playing the Yum Center. Certainly, it may be the best series in college basketball over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And we always joke, how many overtimes next week? But you're going down there. They play zone. What do you need to do to win down there, Jerry?
We need to make some shots. You know, I think obviously against Syracuse we had some great looks that didn't go in, but you know, I think making shots is going to be big for us. And you know, defensively, I think we can definitely hang with them. You know, they struggle to score at times, so you know, as long as we in position, I think we'll be fine and make some shots.
Again, one of the mantras of your program, and we talk about it all the time on your shows, is how do you bounce back from a loss? This team has done that very, very well, and in a twisted sort of way. Is it almost somewhat helpful? Of course, you wanted to win the game that you played Syracuse. You got a taste of that zone, and you certainly know what you need to do to make sure you have success down in Louisville.
I think it does help our preparation. But you know what's neat? We haven't played Louisville in a year, and all anyone remembers is overtimes. How about what he did the last time we played 5 overtimes and scored 12 points in 40 seconds? You know, when I see the Louisville fans, because there's a recruiting tournament in there in July, they go off about our game. So I'm sure Rick Pitino and I before the game are saying, what do you want to play, 3, 2? I mean, we have had unbelievably dramatic overtime games with them, and I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens Wednesday night in the Yum Center.
I'm not sure there's ever been a more dramatic or effective 40 seconds
it was
in college
unbelievable.
basketball.
Well, you know what, though? When he did that, it's really a foreshadowing. You know, that's unbelievable what he did. So, you know, when you look at what he's doing this year, that's the ability and the talent level. It was in a small capsule, but we used to say in the offseason, I've never seen anybody do that. Now he's done it for 5 months.
And also, not to break, he'd had a tough game till then.
Yes.
So a guy that can turn it on when the lights are bright, and they will be much brighter than this next Wednesday, and I know we're all looking forward to it. Jerian, outstanding job tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
Coach,
Great
thanks
job,
as
Eddie.
always.
Go Irish.
We have one show left, the big one, coming up next week. Lots of Connaughtons will be here. We hope you will be here as well. So until then, for Coach Brey and Jerian Grant,